Radio Rahim with Kathy Duva, ready for another big matchup. You've got Kovalev in yet another super fight. Canelo coming down the aisle. First of all, I want to hear what crossed your mind the first time you heard Canelo Alvarez is calling out Sergey Kovalev.
It was finally, the call came. I have always believed this was going to happen. I told Sergey back around the time he won his first world title this was going to happen.
Really? At 175 pounds?
Oh yeah, because look, I've been around 42 years in this business now. I see how things go. There are patterns, and when you step back long enough and far enough and start to watch them, you see how it happens. A guy like Canelo, first of all, making that 160, that weight he was at, how old was he, 20 when he was making that weight? You can't keep that up. You got to move up. 68 is always an division. It's got guys who don't want the middleweight competition and don't want the light heavyweight competition. You don't get it. He had to go to 75. And he's a great fighter, and great fighters want competition, and they want a challenge. They want something to make them get up and run in the morning. And I had a feeling Canelo was that guy that was going to go there. And I was right about him.
There is a debate raging, though, whether or not he's picking Kovalev because he's the best fighter at 75 or because he thinks he's the most vulnerable fighter at 75. I know what you think Kovalev is, but where do you think Canelo is coming in at?
I think Canelo is a very smart man, and he's picking the most marketable fighter at 175, and it really doesn't matter if he's the best or the oldest or the weakest or the strongest. If Canelo were to step up to 75 and fight someone who does not have the profile of Sergey Kovalev, this fight is not that big. I'm sorry. He's a very smart. I have been. The thing is about Canelo that impressed me, I think, the most in this whole process is his instincts for marketing are spot on, and he's right. He made the right decision.
Well, you talk about
he might lose, but he made the right decision.
Well, it's interesting you say that because you talk about being in this sport 40 years plus, which means you had to start at birth.
Yeah.
And
he was a very small toddler at the time.
Yes, exactly. And if Kovalev were to win this fight, people say, oh, well, of course, he was so big and there's all power. But if he loses, then he takes the knock of being beaten by a smaller guy. So what, other than money, what is the payoff for Kovalev to take this fight?
Same thing. Risk. Challenge. I'm going to talk about this later. Pernell Whitaker used to yell at my husband when he gave him an easy fight. I don't want an easy fight. I want to get in there and test myself. I need a reason to get up and run. I can't get excited to fight these guys in my weight class so I can easily dominate every one of them. I want to get in there and fight somebody who's going to get me excited. Go find me that guy. That's what great fighters say. That's what they do. That's what they want. And Sergey and Canelo are both the same guy in that respect, which is why they're going to be in the ring together.
Well, Canelo is the bigger name, but Kovalev is the champion. Who's got the rematch clause in this thing?
I am not going to discuss any of that. And all I can say is watch the fights, see what happens, and then we'll see where we end up.
All right. Now, you know that Kovalev could be set about unifying the division. And how important is that for him marketability-wise and financially? Is it as important as taking on a big name like Canelo once this fight settles? Is that what he looks to do?
You know what? Again, this is like a really big thing here. We're just going to focus on that. And then, when it's over, we figure out what we do next. All I can say is, a year ago, you would have said to me, hey, Kathy, Sergey's career is over. What are you going to do now, right? Everybody said that a year ago. It was over. He had nothing, right? He lost to Alvarez. It was over. Look where he is today. This is what great fighters do. He's a great fighter. And when this fight's over, whatever the next move is, we will figure out what that is then.
Well, we can't wait for this fight to begin, much less be over. Kathy Duva, congratulations on putting together another super fight. We can't wait to see Canelo versus Kovalev on November 2nd in Las Vegas. Radio Rahim with Kathy Duva.